Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to VEGA Conflict, and it's time for something that some of you may have expected if you've been talking to me recently. And that is a quick little jump into the Axis tier using the Mannifold Venoms. Now, these Venoms are extremely simple and easy to produce for just about everyone. The only drawback is the amount of time it takes to produce them. However, in the time you're producing them, what you're going to be doing, if you're a newer player or if you're returning players, you're going to be farming for a fleet commander. You're going to be using the campaign fleet of Punishers to farm for Fleet Commander Clay, because he's required for all of this to actually function. Now, we're looking at the Deceiver, which is the target that I actually recommend you farm experience with, because, well, no matter how many times you attack the fleet, it's going to be fairly easy to kite, and even easier to more or less farm. And the reason you want this experience is because you're going to want to level Clay up as quickly as possible. And if you completely farm out all the blueprints for this fleet, you should be around level 50, possibly 60 with him. So an extremely healthy level, but it's going to be pretty easy to get there, and then you're going to transfer over to some of the other targets. Now, there's only 3 targets that I have in mind, and each one actually drops something specific that you're going to want. Most of it relates to harmonics, but in the case of the Pegasi, it actually relates to a certain ability to farm in a different way. And I'll get to that when we get to the target. But the Deceiver target, as you saw, was fairly quick and straightforward, and the fitting for these Venoms will be at the end of the video for anyone that doesn't know exactly what the fitting of the Mannifold Venoms is. And the attack is simple and straightforward, just like every other time. You just have to keep the squadrons off your battleships on approach, and you're fine. Because once they get to the point where the AI can no longer counter them, you don't have to worry about them anymore. And the carrier disappears. On to the next target. This is the Axis Outpost target, and this is supposedly after you will have a mostly maxed out Clay, so you'll have basically the health bonuses and stuff like that, and you're going to use the line formation, and you're not going to do anything. You're going to click once after the battle starts, that's it. You're going to farm, and then you're going to repair, you're going to farm, you're going to repair, you're going to farm, you're going to repair. The number of targets you can hit in the course of an hour depends on exactly how you get around. If you're using a javelin jump ship or something like that, you'll be able to hit possibly 8 targets in the course of an hour. If you're not and you're moving around slowly, then you're going to be hitting about 6 per hour. But since they changed it and blueprints drop in almost every single attack, it should be fairly easy. Now here's the more important of the targets, and this is going to be the one that I'm going to emphasize you farm before you farm for the Liberator, and this is the Pegasi target. This is the Axis Heavy Outpost cargo target. And this drops the Pegasi and associated tech. This means the Hyperion fuel, the Redeemer missiles, as well as the harmonic boosters, the reactors specifically. And you're going to want them because you're going to be using them for dreadnoughts and stuff like that in the future. Now, is this a tutorial? No. It's more or less just a quick get you up to speed type thing. And it also amuses me to watch the ships move through the targets and you just decimate them. And finally is the Renegade target. Now, the only reason you need to actually hit this target isn't for the Vindicator, although the Vindicator speed bonus does help a lot with the Dreadnoughts. What you're going to want it for is actually the Harmonic Beam Capacitor and Xenoharmonic Beam Capacitor. Those are the only 2 things you actually need from this fleet. The weapon, while I don't ever really use it, isn't really necessary because we're going to be bypassing it fairly quickly. And that's more or less all there is to this fight. You just keep rushing the targets. 3 out of the 4 targets I've shown you are literally just rush targets. So, hopefully this video helps a few of you. But that's going to do it for now. Be safe out there, my pack. Happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later.